to jump into this thing about the World University Ranking 2020, and congratulations. It stated that you're first in Asia, 7 in the world. Give us probably your perspective, because Hong Kong AP has a long establishment. In fact, for myself, I'm very fortunate because not only that we had exchange or work with your students, or I had worked with the academy before, or we brought the Academy of Dance into our festival, or on and on, we did hire some of your graduates, or in fact, we do have lots of Singaporeans going to embark programs at Hong Kong APA. I'm just curious about how you view in terms of the so-called landscape, for the performing arts in Asia. Because as you might know, that Singapore is going to have a new arts university. It will take a few years to roll out. But I'm just thinking about, where do you see, the shift in terms of the university's focus? Like dance science is something that is interesting, that's coming out more heavily focused. When it comes to Asia, of course, we do think that it's important to learn Chinese dance, ethnic dance, ballet, and contemporary. But do you see there's a shift in terms of paradigm for university focusing on the arts education?
Right. So thank you, Danny. We are very honored to be named the first in Asia, and just for update, this year we actually is the top 10. But this is only by mutual, by the ranking system. We still humbly want to work with all the institutions around the world to continue for better education, and particularly for School of Dance. I always believe working with allies and sharing of information is the key of success. I don't think we will be happy with the current ranking. We are very proud to be ranked that way, but I think there's so much we can learn from the neighborhood countries and institutions. And we always have a lot of association with Singapore as well, with the two, LASA and LAFA, and with individual artists. These are the strengths of Asia. Now, looking at the landscape, I think congratulations. I'm really excited to know Singapore will have your first University of Arts after all these years. I think it's time. You should have your own university. But I think the more is better. That means the more people will understand the quality of arts that can bring to a society, to a nation, to human being, to the humanities. I think the more is better. Now, the more some people may think maybe it's a competition. Yes, it will. However, I think each institution, it's time to think about your unique voice in the position of Asia. I think this is very similar to when I was working as a head of program for the West Kowloon. There was a boom of theaters around Asia. Even Singapore will have your own smaller, medium theater at the Esplanade, and not to say in mainland China, in Hong Kong, in Dubai, in the rest of Asia, it's many, many theaters. But I think each theater should always look at the functions and also the uniqueness, the voice of the venue in that position, in that space. It will be the same for APA, to look at what is the uniqueness of us in position in Hong Kong, then in relation to mainland China, as well as the region. So finding the voice, finding the uniqueness of training, I believe is the key. And this is really beyond what kind of style you want to introduce into your program. I think that style is a choice of decisions. It's a choice that will help your institution to develop the voice. And also the choice should be able to update and become current and then move on, because after several decades, the situation, the landscape will change. And I also always believe education should be running even faster than what industry is doing. Because after 4 years of training with us, 3 to 4 years of training with us, students should equip with the skills that will be able for them to work for the next 10 years in the industry. So if we're only looking at the old model, I don't think that should be the way for the universities to go. And the second challenge that a lot of institutions in arts are facing at the moment is this university model in a conservatoire model. I think, as we all know, performing arts, you do need a certain times to be able to get that kind of training. And if you're really working on a very strict university models with X amounts of hours, then sometimes we might lost the qualities of training. We may also lost the quality of developing an artist. So for a institution to develop in this area, I think we do need to go back to look at the uniqueness of your arts training, how to develop a true artist, and then how that can actually balance under university model. So so I would say the conclusion would be the more is better. Each other would complement each other in the Asia on the education landscape, finding the unique voice of your own institutions and how that unique voice embedded and supported by the training, and then preserve the uniqueness of conservatoire base of performing arts education.
Certainly, I totally agree with you by finding the unique voice, especially Hong Kong EPA, having a very long established artistic voice, very good impact in the Asian market, especially, you see.